So the title of this is You Were Loved, but, and this is a big but for so many of us, there was a catch, right? A condition. We're going to dive into a feeling that I bet is way more familiar than you might think.
Okay, let me ask you something right off the bat. Do you ever feel guilty just for resting? I mean, really think about it. The last time you tried to do absolutely nothing, was it peaceful? Or did that little voice of guilt start creeping in? Or here's another one. Does it feel like you always have to be earning love? You know, like you're working for it instead of it just being there for you to receive?
And what about this one? That nagging voice that says, no matter what you do, no matter what you achieve, it's just never quite enough. If any of that sounds familiar, I want you to know something really important. That feeling, you weren't born with it. It was taught to you.
So where the heck does that feeling of never being enough even come from? Let's dig in.
You see, for a lot of us growing up, love wasn't just free. It wasn't always unconditional. Sometimes it came with rules. Think about it. Maybe you got praise when you got good grades, or you got attention when you did something impressive. Love was tied to performance.
And over time, without you even noticing, your brain started connecting the dots. It learned this really powerful, kind of dangerous lesson. I am only worthy when I'm meeting expectations. Your value wasn't just about who you were, it was about what you did.
So this whole system, this idea that love had rules, well, it actually has a name. And just knowing what it is, that's the first huge step to taking its power away. It's called conditional love. Simple definition, right? Affection is given only when certain conditions are met. But here's the thing, and this is the really wild part. Most people who experience this have no idea. It just felt normal. But your brain, oh, it remembers every single rule. So how does that childhood programming actually show up now in your day-to-day life? We're going to go through 5 big signs. Let's see if any of these feel a little too familiar.
Okay, sign number 1. You get anxious when you're not being productive. That feeling when you try to just sit on the couch and chill, but instead of feeling relaxed, you just feel restless, like you should be doing something. The anxiety just starts bubbling up. And underneath that anxiety is this core belief running in the background of your mind. If I'm not doing something, I don't deserve love. Your worth feels directly tied to your productivity. It's a brutal equation.
All right, sign number 2. You're constantly looking for validation. You know what I'm talking about. Agonizing over a text message you sent, wondering if you said the wrong thing in a meeting, needing that good job from someone else just to feel like you're okay.
And the reason for that is so important. It's because your sense of self-worth wasn't built on a solid foundation inside you. It's more like it was built on stilts, totally dependent on what other people thought, and that makes it really, really wobbly.
Number 3 is a big one. You have this deep fear of disappointing people. This is the classic people pleaser sign, right? You say yes when every fiber of your being is screaming no, all because the thought of letting someone down is just too much to handle.
But let's be really honest about what's going on here. It's not always because you're just that kind. A lot of the time, it's because you're afraid of losing their approval. Because in your wiring, losing approval feels a lot like losing love.
Okay, sign number 4, you tie your worth to your achievements. So getting that promotion, hitting that deadline, whatever it is, it doesn't just feel like a nice accomplishment. It feels essential. It feels like survival.
And why? Because that's the rule your brain learned a long time ago. Performance equaled love. So now achieving things doesn't feel like an option. It feels like a requirement to justify your space in the world.
And that brings us to sign number 5, the one that kind of holds all the others together. It's that feeling that you're just never enough. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, that little voice in your head is always there, isn't it? Whispering, yeah, but you could have done more.
But I need you to hear this, really hear it. That voice, that's not you. It's not your true voice. It's a recording. It's a program that was installed a long, long time ago. It was learned.
Okay, everything we've talked about leads to this next part. And honestly, this is the most important takeaway of all. This is the shift that can change everything.
Here's the absolute truth. I want you to let this sink in. You were never the problem. All that anxiety, that need to please everyone, that feeling of not being enough, it was never ever about you being broken.
Your self-worth wasn't broken. It was just conditioned. Think about it. You were smart. You learned how to adapt to your environment. You did what you had to do to get the love and safety you needed. You were a survivor.
So, that was then. What about now? What's the path forward? Well, it all starts with recognizing what's happening. Let's talk about the path to real love.
But here's the amazing news. Right now, you're aware. Just by listening to this and seeing yourself in these patterns, you've already started. And that awareness, that's everything. It's like you've just flipped on the lights in a dark room.
And now that the lights are on, you can start writing some new rules. You can start telling yourself some new truths, like this one. You don't have to earn love anymore. Or this one. You don't have to prove your worth. And maybe the biggest one of all, you are allowed to just exist without performing.
Because here's the bottom line. Real love, the kind you give to yourself and the kind you receive from others, it doesn't come with conditions. It's not a transaction. There's no checklist.
So I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about. You've spent your whole life chasing this conditional love. What if you just stopped? What if you stopped chasing it from other people? What might happen if you started giving it to yourself?